2004, the year Bleach came out, one of the big three of the anime community. What other anime could possibly be anime of the year? I think Bleach sucks. It doesn't even get to sit in the awards show. It doesn't get to sit in the theatre. It's not even in the public seating at the back of the arena. Bleach has to sit in the Denny's across the road eating cold, half-frozen microwave pancakes. Jokes aside, Bleach is a juggernaut of an anime. It was considered one of the big three, and I've heard it gets really good later on and some of the best story writing in anime. But I could never get into it. I don't really have anything against it. I was just focused on watching a far superior show. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Generation X! For the first time in my life, I'm glad YouTube doesn't show the dislike count publicly. And if you think Bleach is better than Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, you're the odd one out. Everyone else thinks that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is better. Everyone agrees with my view, and the only dislike will be from you being wrong. Unfortunately, I can't give GX the anime of the year in 2004. Even though the elemental heroes were the coolest fucking shit I'd ever seen. One, because Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series was my anime of the year for 2000, and GX technically is a continuation of that story. However, there were also two other animes that came out in 2004. Monster and Paranoia Agent. Two of the greatest stories to ever been told in anime, with arguably one of them being the greatest story ever told in media in general. However, I was 6 years old in 2004. Do you really think I had the attention span to appreciate a masterpiece like Monster, or enough of a developed frontal cortex to understand the deeper interpretations of Paranoia Agent? Hell no. But as a teenager, I watched both of these series for the first time and couldn't appreciate them at that age either. But as an adult, I can watch them and acknowledge that Paranoia Agent, despite coming out over 20 years ago at this point, has only become more relevant with the terminally online society we now live in, where many people are so desperate for attention they will say or do anything, whether real or fake, or whether they actually believe what they're saying or not, just to be able to be in the spotlight or to push the spotlight off of them. Or how rumours and made-up stories explode out of one person's misinterpretation of a situation that can lead to some really destructive result, or intentional destructive results. However, Monster is also a masterpiece. And Johan is, in my opinion, the best written villain in all of anime. And where else in the world can you get a slow burn 74 episode single season series today? This is a year and a half worth of weekly releases to stay up to date with. In the span of 74 episodes, an entire minute has passed in Naruto and nearly 9 seconds in Dragon Ball. 9 whole seconds! The fact that this series exists at all really goes to show how downhill our attention span has gone over the last 20 years. As if Monster were released today, it would be a 6 season worth of anime released over probably 6 to 7 years if it didn't get stuck in season 1 purgatory. This series, just like Paranoia Agent, is about the wider construct of society, of what it means to be human, the construct of good and evil, what it means to be pushed to your breaking point, and how you will react to it. To even begin to explore the constructs of Monster would make this video an hour long, and that's just to scratch the surface of the series. Both Paranoia Agent and Monster comment on the same ideology of humanity. However, Paranoia Agent is much more abstract with its depiction, whereas Monster slowly drip feeds you the message throughout the runtime of the series, where you are left multiple episodes at a time to think about what you've just watched and consume and reflect upon it before the next teaspoon of the questions are offered up. You are given the time to actually think about what you've experienced and aren't directly thrown into the next action scene. Which is why I have to choose Monster over Paranoia Agent as my anime of the year 2004. Wait, 2004? Isn't it the year Elfen Lied came out? Hell yeah, cat girls, titties and gore. Best anime ever, Elfen Lied for the win. Check out this video to hear my pick for best anime of 2005.